Tarot ReVisioned, which is a labor of love that took me 17 years to create, because it wasn't a matter of creating a production of something that was, but actually the process of discovering what these things are themselves. And that's why the drawings are very, very unique and not based on other drawings. They actually allow us to enter into the conversation and the question about the tarot in a new way. This is why it is called Tarot ReVisioned, because the tarot is a very old tradition. As a matter of fact, it's so ancient that often it's buried in a type of legend or mythic story, like ancient Egypt, going back to palm leaves that were saved out of a great fire. So there's extraordinary elements that aren't so much a matter of fact, but actually, you'd say, the deeper romance of, well, why has this system been around, and where does it come from, and why is it in many ways thought of as something dark and dangerous? What about this occult element of the relationship of the tarot and occultism and darkness? And what I'm going to show you is that many of the things that have been applied to the tarot are a bit like looking at the piano that's been playing very haunting music and blaming the piano, as opposed to thinking about the instrument itself. This is why Tarot ReVisioned is just that. We come full circle. Tarot means wheel, means circle. So now we come full circle, and we begin to ask the question, why am I wired the way I am? Why do I, when I go inside of myself, so to speak, find so much conflict? So many voices that don't seem to agree with each other. Somebody asked me, well, what do you feel? And I could feel this way, I could feel that way. Does that mean I don't have much of a center? Well, what this is actually showing us is, no, inside of us are many qualities which are archetypes, meaning fundamental qualities. Now, the psychologist Carl Jung really revealed that archetypes are autonomous qualities within the psyche. Now let's take that apart a bit. What would an autonomous quality be? That which cannot be controlled by the waking mind, and that which has its own desires that it will seek to fulfill through us. And the tarot helps us understand, because it breaks the circle into 22 spokes. It tells us that to know who we are is not one key on the piano, or one note, or one character in the play, but that we are all of these characters, and therefore to understand our relationship to them begins to free us from over-identifying with either the play itself or with characters. In a sense, the villain of the piece is always there, so we don't have to identify with the villain. We can recognize essentially the triggering effect the villain has, which means since you cannot change him, you are forced to change within yourself. And the tarot helps us see that these characters, a bit like in astrology with planetary influences, that there's a much larger conversation going on. And many of the things we can know directly and we can control, but many of the things we can't know directly and many of the things we cannot control. So the question is navigation. How do I navigate? And that's why, as we go deeper into the tarot, I want to reveal it not as a belief system, but as a tool, as a way of entering into a conversation with the creative imagination, to speak the language of pictures, which is when we dream in pictures. Why? Because it's a universal language. It's a language that we will interpret uniquely, because a picture can't be limited by one perception any more than a song can be limited by one interpretation. It is a quality that, as we access, it begins to mentor us. And that's why, for the creative and imaginative, for those looking to make some sense of the inner life and the outer world, the tarot is a very valuable tool. If you're looking for a belief system, if you are dealing with something that, oh, there's dark magic there and I'll have control over others, I would not suggest the tarot, because it's a bit like over-identifying with the characters in a play. It's a play. It's not meant to be taken as true or as false. That's when it becomes oftentimes fairly unhealthy, because people think they are the archetype they're actually allowing to be expressed. So my background in theater as an actor, as an artist, as a philosopher, will help us navigate how to apply these qualities so that they're part of our performance, rather than like audience just sitting and believing that our opinion of these things really matters. It's an invitation to our consciousness that says to know who you are, you need tools. Tarot ReVisioned is a very ancient and very important tool. Its mystery lies in hoary antiquity, but it reemerges, revisioned, to say now it's up to you. So thank you. Join me for Tarot ReVisioned.